really, it is only the isolation that can stop it.
Now, I did think that Dignitas had the better draft. They did execute eventually. Not how I thought they will. I thought they'll play a more slow macro-based style, but they actually took a lot of fights. But let's not forget, the turnaround happened when, you know, Genji there was scouting, he got caught off. That finally gave the Punisher to Dignitas. That gave them another follow-up kill as well. And that just snowballed it out of control for Dignitas here.
The thing is, you can see as we go to Sky Temple here in game number 5, you can see how much this means to both teams. It's very rare. In the history of Heroes of the Storm, we've seen 2 European teams in this situation where they're guaranteeing one of a European team in the grand final. They push it to game 5. We're going to get into the draft. One of these teams is going to the grand final of the mid-season brawl right here, right now. Team Dignitas versus Team Fnatic.
And it comes down to Sky Temple. Big map, heavy on the globals. What used to be traditionally a Fnatic favored map, but Dignitas have had so much practice on it, they have brought that up to, guess what, even with Fnatic, because this entire series has been basically even.
Where's the Abathur? Where is it? Is my big
Probably
question.
in the ban face.
It probably in the ban face.
It's
Probably
either
AFK at core.
How dare he?
Fnatic has a hard choice here. It's either actually, it's not that hard for them. They can pick the Abathur if they want it. I prefer the Stitches ban into the Anubrak pick. That worked wonders for them, and I wanna see it again. Like, it's time and time again, JPL has impressed on those 2 heroes. You have first pick. You can pick Abathur if you really want to, and at this point in the tournament, Abathur doesn't have like a 95% win rate anymore. No. He has dropped some games.
Okay. First game without Anubrak. So far, Anubrak has been first picked by either team. 3 times by Fnatic, then by Dignitas. And I'm not surprised to see that one coming out at all. Abathur banned by Dignitas, and it probably leaves Fnatic to go for Uther. But
no, they're going for the alphabetical pick ban order.
That's right.
Only the A's first.
I mean, Uther, Dahaka, Genji, Greymane.
Yeah, all of those are viable. I'm just wondering why they didn't go for the, ban Stitches, pick Anubrak here. The Anubrak team has won so many of these games. I feel like it would have been a solid strategy. I can't help but think Dig is going Anub on this map, or Stitches on this map again into another pick comp.
If they are, this might mean that there is a strategy from Fnatic to have the confidence to ban out the Anub over the Stitches, means that they feel comfortable a bit more this time playing against it. So we'll see what they have to react. They already have global potential in the form of Dahaka, while Dignitas responding with Uther Genji, 2 heroes who work well with the Stitches.
Yeah, and Team Dignitas locking both of those picks in a microsecond. That's exactly what you do when you do not want to give your opponents any more time to think about what they should pick here. And Fnatic, they're taking a long time every single pick that they've done so far.
It's so difficult. Like, it creates such a story here for the psychological state that Fnatic could be in here, as once again their derby rivals are taking them to the brink. Oh, wow.
Vala Ariel coming in.
Fnatic completely sidestepping the meta and bringing a composition that Dreadnought condemned when it was just attempted earlier today by Roll20 against MVP Black on this map. Vala Ariel with the push power, while the temples present such a big objective siege damage threat.
Wonder if Team Dignitas is going to ban out the Tassadar here, a very popular choice. I mean, Fnatic can go for the Zarya even if the Tass is banned, so you don't have to ban the Tassadar.
Even Medivh is available considering Dig might be going for that blow-up comp as well.
Yeah, definitely. Looks like they're thinking about it quite a bit here. On Fnatic's side, I'm kind of still hoping they get rid of the Stitches, honestly. and we do go with the Tassadar ban.
Especially now, now that Anubrak is gone, now that they have a comp that is best together. Vala Ariel, isolation is key. We saw Fnatic dismantle Vala Ariel against E-Star using isolation mechanics like Gust, like Hook, like Zeratul Void Prison. All these things would be great.
Yeah, I mean...
Fan, are you gonna finally lose your amazing cool if Stitches doesn't get banned? Let's hear you freak out, man.
I mean, Illidan's not, it's not a bad band, but look at that. Like, why would you give it to them? I don't understand. Oh, God.
Oh, it took us almost the entire event, but we got Fan to freak out.
That's the loudest I've ever heard Fan ever in my life.
I mean, they can build the comp they want now. They have the Uther, which they always combo Uther him out with the Stitches. They can get a false stat if they want to. They can get a mage.
They can pick Li Ming
if they want to.
Yeah, exactly. They've removed the main counter.
Look at that stupid face of that inflatable taunting Fnatic right now.
Anyone want ice cream? Let's build a sandcastle.
That inflatable has seen things, all right? Just saying.
More global potential. Still a little bit of blow up with the boomerang, especially if they go for a Q-based build, if they feel they can stack it. The Chen from Fnatic. And Karazim very quick with that reaction.
Okay, so I kind of see what Fnatic wants to do here. So as soon as one person gets hooked, you either have the Aegis or the Palm to save that person, and then everyone else just dives in. Karazim easily can dive in here. Same with the Chen, the Haka burrows behind. So Vala and Oreo are your only vulnerable targets, and you should be able to save them with one of the support heroics here. So I kind of get their game plan at this point. I just don't know if it'll work.
But Fan, is it going to be Storm, Earth, and Fire or Wandering Cake?
I mean, if they're diving in, I imagine it's Storm, Earth, Fire.
Yeah, because if it is Storm, Earth, and Fire, we've seen Dignitas deleting people in less than half a second. It doesn't proc if you stun after the hook.
Does Keg proc Guardian of the Ancient Kings?
No.
Like, it's not a stun, is it? It's
not
a phase.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
It's like a mini days, I believe. Yeah. Like many days.
Thankfully, Chen does have a lot of health, so maybe that does help on out. Zeratul is going to come in here for Team Dignitas, and that's a lurking in the shadows here, if I ever saw one, looking to come out at the opportune moment, and 2-2 in this series. Good time to pick him.
Yeah. I think Fnatic has a pretty good late game once Chen gets some important talents at level 13 and 16 with the flying kicks. But I'm really worried because as the warrior, he's meant to be the protector of his team, but he is the one that is going to need the most protection because Storm, Earth, and Fire can be cancelled. And so this just looks like a quick match comp to me from Fnatic. They're running several different things that don't fit together. Vala Ariel takes a position, stays, feeds off of each other, and Chen, I feel like, just doesn't really provide the protection needed.
All right, it's time for predictions.
I agree that Fnatic do have a solid late game, and there is still potential of barrel if Storm, Earth, Fire is a problem. I'm going with the home field, and I'm going to go with Fnatic for this one.
Okay.
I mean, Chen is weird. It might work, and there might be things, definitely. Of course, there are things that I haven't fully understood yet about what Fnatic are doing here. It could be one of their pocket picks. Nonetheless, I'm going to be going with Dignitas with their Stitches Uther combination here.
Yeah, I mean, JPL, Stitches, gotta go with Dig.
All right, that's 2-1 in favor of Dignitas here on the desk. Let's see what people think at home. I'm hoping for a 50-50.
Oh, they like that Stitches.
Straying over to Team Dignitas here to start things off. You were mentioning Wandering Cake. I would love to see something insane like Wandering Cake into 7-sided strike, but whatever happens remains to be seen as we get into game number 5. The winner of this moves on to the grand final of the mid-season Brawl.
The arena is packed for our EU versus EU winners finals. Winner of this game not only goes to the grand finals, but it has a game up in the best of 7 advantage.
I'm so ready for this. I feel a little bit bad for Fan when he comes through his picks. He seems a little bit on the confused side, but I'm ready for it here. Dignitas here on the left in the blue. Snitch will be playing Genji. Bakery will be on Uther. JPL on Stitches. Mayne on Falstad. Xaylia on Zeratul. And you gotta watch out for this Zeratul, man. Xaylia is an absolute legend on that character.
I love Xaylia Zeratul, but I also love this team with Wubby playing Tahaka, Quacknix on Vala, Schwimpy on Ariel, Breeze playing Chen, and Spexy on Karazim. Let's hear it for Fnatic.
I think the crowd wants Fnatic to win, Gilly.
We did say it's home field advantage.
That's right, it sure is here. And Fnatic is putting 4 members in the top lane. Breeze goes in and it will start chilling here on top of the turret. And Fnatic is looking for some extra damage. Xaylia, though, sharking around, coming in for that fight. JPL on the right side too. Wubby catches Xaylia, and they will be able to back away from the fight.
I loved Wubby's positioning there, catching the flank. Now he just has to get away, which he does.
Gets away here, should be able to soak this lane here in the middle. But look at the top. Look at the top here. Fnatic has left 4 people in this area, and they're working on burning down a turret. Breeze just sitting here drinking, watching Snitch on the left side.
Yeah, Breeze not only being able to drink to be able to soak up some of those shots, but even getting Elusive Brawler here is a very tanky option to be able to hold on 2 shots. Do they push this further?
Elusive Brawler here for the... Yes, Breeze moving forward. Remember, Elusive Brawler can actually tank 4 shots too. They're working on the well. They're just leaving 4 here while they leave Dahaka in the middle to soak up that lane and potentially rotate between the 2 lanes and clear out. This is a big risk here from Fnatic, but so far it is paying off. Look at Breeze. He is tanking the fort for his team while the rest burn down the fort.
And they're staying extremely healthy in doing so. Breeze gets down to half health, but Shwimpy has a full hope bar thanks to the damage of Quacknix.
Look at Dignitas. They're trying to figure out how they set up their lanes. How do we soak the middle? How do we soak the bottom? And how do we make sure that we actually have kill potential to stop this from occurring? Breeze gets pulled in, but he turns around and just starts drinking.
Right in the face of that annoying inflatable of Stitches too. Temples have spawned, and all of Fnatic rotating into the mid with Dahaka versus Falstad in the bot.
They're just staying as a unit here in the middle. Vala soaking as well, staying actually a little bit behind in experience, but close enough as they move towards level 4. Xaylia's in the back right corner, but Smexy will scatter it out, paying his teammates, say, hey, there is a Zeratul here. Fnatic intending to control this entire middle area. Breeze will jump in. Quacknix taking pressure on the back right, but Ariel's doing her best to keep her alive.
Quacknix avoided the Singularity Spike too, which is very important versus the Zeratul, and will continue to be so as Zeratul scales up once he gets Seeker in the dark.
So this strategy seems to be keep 4 people together and let Wubby do whatever, which is where Fnatic is usually in a scenario where they pull out very well. But I do want to commend Dignitas. They're doing pretty solid here in terms of holding this pressure. They lose the fort in the top left, but Falsta's in the bottom working on staying up in experience. JPL gets put against the wall. Breeze going in for it. Will they get the kill? They do get the kill as Mexi comes in there as well and delivers a punch.
It's all down to adaptation of Team Dignitas. Can they figure out how to adapt to whatever this is that Fnatic is throwing at them? They have a little bit of time, but with that hard push in the top lane and Wubby being able to get that temple, Fnatic have brought down the first fort.
I'm really enjoying this. Chen is one of those heroes in the early game that can do pretty well, but there is a moment where you can break through his drinking and break him down. But with Vala being here a battery for that Ariel, you keep him off, topped off consistently. If he brings in those auto attacks, he has Elusive Brawler, you can stay underneath the forts. If Fnatic stays in this 4-man rotation, and it looks like they are as they are in the bottom right corner, they can continue to keep breaking down infrastructure of Team Dignitas.
Yeah, and they know that there's at least one person who from Team Dignitas who is up in the top getting the rest of the temple. So in doing so and pulling up some of Team Dignitas to that top lane, Fnatic feels safe to push into this bottom lane, already working toward the next temple.
And they actually take a lead in experience here, not doing what's traditional, soaking all the lanes at once, continuing to move in for a fight. So they're just breaking down their opponent tower by tower. And this is actually a big deal, because normally on this battleground, hang on, as JPL comes in looking for maybe a hook, will he get it? Breeze hides behind the wall to make sure he's safe, but he is kind of getting pinned down, finally gets out. This is actually really important. This becomes a race towards level 10. And remember what happens here on this battleground when we hit 10. That boss.
The boss.
Exactly. That boss becomes available for the picking. So the team usually getting there first, and if they have about half level to a 3/4 level lead, they go for the boss and push it in. And if Fnatic can take that and snowball forward by taking out forts, they get to 10 quicker.
Chen now has Boulder Flavor, which has been a popular level 7 talent for Chen. And as you can see, the minute that he starts drinking, he gets an instant amount of shields that last just a little bit longer. So in having that, he now becomes the prime target for Fnatic to be able to soak the hooks of JPL.
That is correct here. And we're going to keep watching as the squad of 4 continues to move around. Dahaka doing a really good job here by keeping up an experience. It's around 4K. Here's the Detainment Strike on the wall. JPL gets hit here. Is he going to fall? He does get taken out. Fnatic with 2 kills in the game, but here is the main story. That fort, it falls, and they take a big jump in experience lead.
A second fort down, and the tower to boot pushes Fnatic closer and closer to Heroics. They've gotten level 9, and they're not even waiting.
They don't even want it, and they just move in for the boss. They start burning it down. Wubby is trying to catch the attention of the opponents. He says, hey, guess what? There's 2 people on me, teammates. You go for the boss, and they're doing it. Down to half health. Dignitas does not know yet. Genji's coming around. Snitch will spot it, but will it be in time? No, it will not be. The boss is picked up at 5 minutes and 17 seconds.
Fnatic are halfway through level 9 to get level 10. Team Dignitas doing what they can to soak in the top lane and take down some structures, which is where Wubby is now heading. But remember, remember, he can always brush stock in if Fnatic sees fit to do so.
This is terrifying for Dignitas. First off, we have a hook that does not connect there. Breeze gets stuck on the wall and is able to stay on his side here, but they're pushing in with the boss, with a giant here, and level 10 about to hit. Dignitas can move in for a kill here and look to grab a keep.
There goes Breeze diving onto the team of Dignitas, zoning away Dig while the rest work on the keep. They've still got the boss taking out Rain of Vengeance.
Storm Earth and Fire hitting here on the side here. Breeze moving in, gonna start working for the auto attacks, but look how he's looking at JPL. He is blocking the hooks that can come out in the next few seconds with 3 separate pandas to make sure his team is safe. This boss is still healthy. The hook comes out for Quacknix, but he is saved just fine here. They're working on the damage. The boss moving for the core. Fnatic is putting it all on the line.
There's still no heroic abilities, but Dig are just about to get them, and they need to use them right here and right now. Snitch has Divine Shield and is using his Dragon Blade. Crystal Aegis has to be procced. The core is falling down. It's at 50% and still going down. Have Fnatic been able to do it? Do they beat Dig? There's the Void Prison on the core.
The Void Prison here, 16% is the core here. Wubby's getting low on health. They're putting all the damage. They are focusing it. They're going for the call. 5%, 4%, 3%, 2%, 1%. It's going to be saved. Team Dignitas actually saves the game here. It's going to be in a spot where the core is only down to 1%. Fnatic is fully team wiped.
What just happened?
The Void Prison bought just enough time here for Dignitas to focus their proper targets and survive, but can they watch out for the push from Fnatic? That is a 1% core with shields. At any point, if Fnatic is able to sneak on by, they can go for the core kill and go for the win, but still, Dignitas here in game number 5 are still in this, Gilly.
Fnatic has just forced Team Dignitas to play the rest of this game on hard mode.
I am terrified here. Dignitas and Fnatic, both teams on a razor edge, it seems like. Dignitas needing to make plays and keep Fnatic away from the core, and Fnatic wanting to get that core kill out. But they can turn around here and continue to play the game normal if they would like. Just make sure never to get into fights where they're getting picked off. But we're seeing Breeze getting picked off. Stitches comes in. There will be a palm to save Chin, but he's still low on health. He's drinking. He's trying to live here. The Aegis is keeping the Panda alive.
Breeze somehow survives. Detainment strike hits, forcing the Divine Shield. JPL is all but brought down. There he goes down. The crowd goes wild.
Mayday has to be careful here. He cannot die. Breeze on the left side here. Genji also being chased. Snitch jumps away. Can he get home? Okay, he is defended here. It was important the moment that Dignitas realized they were losing that fight for them to stop fighting.
Yes.
They could not afford to lose any members because Chen jumping on the core is very similar to an Illidan. Fnatic is grabbing all the Giants they can. They have a total of 4 Giants, I believe, pushing here in the bottom lane. They're going for it. They want this core.
That they do. Zalia has Void Prison back up. Can Fnatic force him to use it before the core? There's also a potential for Gust in 12 seconds for Dignitas.
Oh, we're going to have a drag here on the red side. Genji will be able to get away using the deflect. Zalia on the side for a massive Void Prison. JPL getting focused down. He's low on health. Big Void Prison connecting. Snitch here with the Dragon Blade, but he's low on health. Snitch falls.
It's a 1-for-1. Genji and Chin down. Gust pushes back Fnatic. Do they still do this without their Chin?
Fnatic trying as hard as they can to get these Giants pushing forward. Dignitas holding and this station as well as they can. They're holding this choke here. JPL in the front. Mayday on the left side here, watching for any engagement that he can. JPL gets low. He connects with a hook here on Spexy.
There's still a palm available. Quacknix is so important at this moment to give the hope to Schwimpy to stay alive. The Giants and Catapults are pushing forward. JPL getting pretty low. Here comes Genji. He's back. Chin is back too, but has to run all the way across the map.
The Giants and the Catapults are creeping forward. They waited for all members to come up. Wubby low. There's the palm. They're going to go ahead and proc it here, so he's going to be able to get that half health back. Can he turn around and go for the fight? The answer is no. But Fnatic fighting for every single centimeter there is unable to actually get to the core. Dignitas defends for a second time.
They are staying alive. The temples don't matter. It all comes down to this push. Breeze is back. He has Storm, Earth, and Fire available, but a lot of the defensive capabilities, especially Palm, have been used for Fnatic.
Mighty Gus is still up here for Falstad. They're able to knock away from the fight if Fnatic even gets close. I think at this point you have to pull back. There's so many defensive possibilities. And 22nd, Void Prison is up once again. Fnatic deciding to pull back and try and bait somebody into a Wubby tongue. The tongue does not connect though. Zalia goes in on the left side for some poke.
Snitch is using Dragon Blade, but has to use it to get out. Storm Earth and Fire has been procced. Silence hits the Stitches. with the isolation.
I love how Dignitas is staggering their heroics. Void Prison up in 10 seconds. They knew they could use the Mighty Gust to make sure nobody did fall victim to Fnatic. Fnatic pushes back, but it's a struggle between both of these teams. One slip up could be the cost of the game for Dignitas, and there's a kill on Breeze. Massive Void Prison connecting.
4-man Void Prison. Here come the potential more kills. Crystal Aegis has been used, and Schwimpy has high hope out of that, but still Smexy goes down a second kill for Team Dignitas.
Schwimpy's done here. He's going to be picked off. Dahaka's even aware of it. He went to the middle lane. We have Quacknix on the top left side. He's actually trying to back to get out. No! Xaylia sniffs him out and will kill the Cowgirl. Quacknix falling 4 members down for Fnatic, and they move in for a boss. Dignitas starting it up.
Team Dignitas has been playing this out so well with their heroic abilities. Now they finally get a break, being able to take the boss. And it's so important that this is in the bottom lane because that is where that keep has fallen.
We have a couple seconds to relax here. Composure is very important for Dignitas. They have the boss set up, can start moving in for a push on the bottom side. They will allow Snitch to bring in this wave and break down the fort. And Falstad in particular is defending that middle lane because he's in a spot where he can wave clear and rotate in if he needs to stop Fnatic for the rotation. Look how Dignitas moved. They took every single alleyway and path that could possibly be available for Fnatic, and they made sure they all put one member in those lanes. They are making sure that Fnatic stays on their side of the map.
And they have to. They have to make sure that Fnatic doesn't backdoor at this point. But seeing a lot of the members of Fnatic just defend this boss now, they have some breathing room.
That 1% taunting Fnatic. Been doing so for the last few minutes here as Fnatic defends the boss safely on the bottom right. A hook, a blind hook there from JPL as he's looking to grab someone, misses just barely. But Fnatic is suddenly in a scenario here where they're trying to figure out how they get into a position to even force a fight.
Yeah, when you have this strategy that ends up not getting the win in the game exactly where you think it's going to be, that's where you see the gears turning for both sides. How does Dignitas continue to defend their core? They have done an amazing job at doing just that, despite the fact that it's at 1%. But for Fnatic, it's how do we win since we weren't able to get the core when this composition was planned to do so?
Well, for now, Dignitas has the lead 16, and they're doing a wonderful job of controlling the mercenaries on the bottom side now, making sure that the catapults never get the pressure, and they'll just wait it out. They're waiting for the next temple phases. They know they have map control. They have Falstad here, who is very important for that map control, the rotations, and the Mighty Gust, which is great, stopping Fnatic from being effective. Void Prison should never be used unless they know for sure they can go for a fight. Dignitas knows they have the tools to win this game. They should act as if their core is at 100%.
The crowd is so amazing. Every single time a fishing hook goes out, there's an oh! Just waiting to see if it can connect. Give Dignitas the first of what could be several staggered deaths. Fnatic staying safe, trying to get their 16.
What a wonderful way to end this series here for game number 5.
Right?
They all in play from Fnatic, not quite paying off, but they're on the cusp of victory here. This is the winner's brackets to find out who goes to grand finals. A victory for either team would be wonderful. At this point, I don't mind who goes forward, but Fnatic is sitting on the side here, just being in a defensive spot, watching out for the keep. A hook finally does connect, but Wubby will drop down the burrow. He misses out on the tongue, but Bree steps forward.
They're going for the fight. Chin gets the palm proc. There's a Void Prison in the back. He goes for the Storm Earth and Fire.
He actually gets it off here. Now they can go for the engage. The Rain of Ages comes out. We're going to have an engage on the back right corner. Genji taking damage. Is able to leave the area with a swift strike, but you can see how explosive both teams can be.
Such a good gust from Mene to keep Snitch alive. He's going to go back and heal up after that close call. 2 temples out on the battlefield.
Dignitas using Xaylia to scout out the opposing team. Fnatic still hugging their base, allowing only Wubby to move out as he heads to the top here. But with the 2 temples being up, this is a major threat for both teams. For Fnatic, if they can start burning down keeps, that's better for them. For Dignitas, they just want to get back on even ground against their opponents in terms of breaking down their own keeps. So Dignitas needs to group up naturally here on the right side, and Falstad will be the only one that might peel off.
Oh my, that's Divine Shield, and that's a long cooldown. Hook hits Breeze. This time there's no Storm, Earth, and Fire, so Crystal Aegis has to save the day.
There is an Aegis. It will be enough here. Breeze starts drinking candy, lives there until falls there. Xaylia makes a slight mistake. Wubby chasing forward here. He has a tongue available. Will he be able to connect it? He's looking for it. The stun from Bakery will be enough to keep Wubby at bay, but not all of Fnatic. Look at them moving forward.
Fnatic is on the charge. They know they need this time where Zeratul is down. They have to make the most of it, and they want to try to go for the kill. Rain of Vengeance catches JPL. They're going for the kill.
They're going for it, and they may get it. He's still low here. He gets out, but at the same time, Bakery's in trouble. You're right. He goes for the heals of Mighty Gust too late, and that's a Mighty Gust down.
Exactly.
We don't have a Void Prison for 15 seconds. It's up in 7, but we don't have Zeratul on the field. Fnatic's moving forward, the 1% core being their prize.
Dig are attacking on all sides. Stitch trying to delay Fnatic from getting on top of this core, but Fnatic can feel the victory within their sight. We have Zaylia back up. He's got one more Void Prison to stall this out.
He goes in forward. Fnatic's going to use Breeze here on the top right corner. Storm and Fire. They should have the game. They're doing it. They're killing the core. And Fnatic will do it. They will break the curse. They will earn a victory over Dignitas with a 3-2.
It may have just been the winners finals for Fnatic, but getting that victory over Team Dignitas was such a breaking point for them. It was such a mental hurdle for Fnatic. And now they not only go on to the grand finals to face whomever it is, whether it's Dignitas, whether it's someone else, but they go in with a one-game advantage.
And you can see how much it means to them. They embraced each other immediately after that victory. They put it all on the line in game number 5 with a composition that nobody has seen before, and they executed it nearly perfectly, but not enough. In fact, they were 1% off. They executed this composition 99% perfectly, but they still hung in there, even with Dignitas being this defensive team that's willing to respawn back. I cannot believe that Fnatic pulls it off, but well-deserved from them, and they do it here in their hometown of Sweden. Congratulations to them.
I have to admit, I'm glad the 1% happened because that was such an incredible game, the adaptation from both teams, and I can't wait to hear what our analyst panel has to say about that Game 5.
I'm on the... If there was any way to finish that game on the edge of our seat the whole time, all of us at the back screaming at the TV about what is occurring. What a way to end that best of 5. Fnatic advances to the grand finals.
Yeah, absolutely. They went so aggressive on that core. An incredible defense by Team Dignitas. That should not have been a saved core, but they did do it, and then they started doing a lot of the right decisions to try and come back, taking Fishing Hook especially to try and get the picks they need to reduce the numbers. They made so many things right, but 1% is too hard to deal with.
Well, that's the thing, is that as much as that 1% core happened, from that point on, all convention went out the window. It was 3 minutes down at the bottom trying to find an opportunity to get pickoffs, try and finish the game, but it just went mental from there on out, Grubby.
Yeah, those temples, you remember that objective? It's like it became 2 hot pools of lava. Yeah. No one wanted to step onto them, but that was just insane. This game is going to go down as one of the all-time greats in esports history, especially because of the meaning of this. Had Fnatic lost this one after 1% core, I truly believe that the 5 individuals of Fnatic would have ceased to exist.
Absolutely.
They would have evaporated off the face of the earth for shame of having another game like that end up in 2-3. But I wonder if it's just a setup for an even greater disappointment in the grand finals later against... Who
knows?
But that's a little bit too far forward.
Yeah. You actually do bring up a good point there. That series was incredible, and there is a chance, if Dignitas works their way back through the lower bracket, that we could do it all over again.
We could definitely. Fan, that was an amazing end to that game.
Yeah, that was absolutely insane there. I can't believe Fnatic managed to pull it out. After Dignitas saved their core, I really thought Fnatic were in a lot of trouble because their composition was not built for the late game. It was built to win. Like they built their composition so well. I definitely appreciate like a well-executed cheese when I see one. Just early game, 4-man, Chen absorbs all tower shots. You're just kind of, you know, going around getting as much structure damage as you can, and then as soon as you get that structure EXP lead, you go for the boss, you go for the end, and we do have that you know, 1% core here. And I hate to be nitpicky, but it's my job. So if we can just pause right here. So we see, here's the JPL Stitches again. He gets the hook. This was actually really important. What happened here was Bakery was just not quite close enough. If he was where Snitch was, he could have gotten the instant stun. That would have forced the defensive Aegis immediately, and it would have changed the entire outcome of this fight. If we play on here, I think Dig panicked a little bit because this push was so strong. They made several mistakes. I actually think this should not have been a 1% core. The next most important thing, if we slow down here, we see Falstad getting 10 on the minimap. That's really important. He flies down. But look at Fnatic's composition. It's 2 supports, 2 tanks, and a Valla. So we see Dragon Blade on Snitch combined with the D-Shield. Very good Aegis by Fnatic here. Overall, Fnatic plays the core really well. And pause right here. So look at the gust that just happened. It only hit 2 tanks and it didn't even get Breeze off the core. When your opponents have this type of composition, you need to be gusting the Valla. If he gusted downwards, he would have hit 3 people and the Valla. And the last thing I want to say is the Void Prison. You saw it hit like 3 members of Fnatic. I think about this stuff at night, you know, shower thoughts. But if they rush your core, you need to center your VP either on the core or over here. If you put your VP exactly on the core, no one on Fnatic can get in the VP. You buy 5 more seconds to kill them. So I actually think that Dignitas should have saved this core at maybe 20–30%, and that might have gotten them the leeway they needed to stop the second core.
Way, someone disagrees with you.
You're being disagreed with there. Well, regardless, congratulations. We are joined by Quacknix here from Team Fnatic. Congratulations for that. 3-2 victory. You move on to the grand final. We have to ask about game number 5. We have to ask about what's going through the team's mind when that happens and you are on the brink of advancing to the grand finals.
I mean, I was just sitting there as I died, like, pretty early. I was just sitting there, but no. And then when it happened, I was like, I don't even know. I just shouted something random. But, like, yeah, as Fan just went through the replay, they could have played it much better, but we also could have played it much better. I mean, obviously, this is not the first time we play something like this. So this was, I mean, it's pretty simple. We have our rotations. We make sure we get ahead by trading structures for minion soak and make sure we hit 10 before them.
Yeah.
We start the boss. There's no way they can contest the boss, like pretty much no matter what comp they have, because yeah, we will most likely be levels up, and we also have like Ariel with the Duda, like the
Aegis.
The clap, like the level 1.
Sweep.
So like it's like our boss fight there in the 5 versus 5. Like there's no way they can win it. And then yeah, obviously since we're ahead, we get boss when we're 10. We woke up, and if we get kills on the keep as we're 10, we're gonna end the game. But they did the right decision of trying to get 10 themselves, and then obviously misplayed it quite a bit. But overall, I mean, if we do it a bit better as well, it can just be the clean core right there from our side as well.
I mean, we can change it to the name Dudar if you really want. That works too after you've won that series. Boys, any questions?
Quacknix, first of all, huge congratulations. You won 3-2 here, and in such a manner as this. I just want to know, first of all, how do you feel about the way that you won and the fact that you won?
I mean, no matter what, we're super happy that we managed to pull it off, that we won. We beat Dignitas. However, they might come back again in the grand finals. But we felt overall that throughout the entire series, we were the better team today. We played better overall. So we did I did a really big mistake in game 2. I don't know if anybody even realized, but when we were starting boss with 16, we were starting boss and I just took one of the shrines so they don't get beacon progress. And then I was gonna E over the wall. It was 5 versus 4 for us, or 4 versus 4?
5 versus 4.
Yeah, so I took the beacon and then I walk over and Leoric is flanking. So I wanna E over, gust the 3 and just kill him. And then if they want to contest, they're 5 versus 3 on the point. We have 16 versus 4.
Sounds like a good plan. What happened?
And then what happened is I failed my E over the wall.
Oh,
and
no.
I pressed Z. I have no Z.
Oh.
So I'm sitting there and I'm like,
okay, because
I can't come.
Your teammates looked like they were waiting
and
for
then,
something.
Yeah, and then it backfired, and it was like I mean, it was good. It was a good call as well, because if they reach 16 versus 18, they're going to be forcing that boss, and that would be their only win condition. And us, like, just getting a Surge Wave and trying to push with that, it's much easier for them to defend the Surge Wave with Sylvanas than to defend the boss. So it was like, at that point, it was so free, and I made that mistake, and I was like,
oops.
Yeah.
This is not happening.
Well, going into the grand final now that you've secured either first or second place, I'm going to discount the fact that you probably don't want to play Team Dignitas. So out of the 2 Korean teams, who would you rather face down the line? Actually,
we just proved to ourselves that Fnatic Supermans don't have a kryptonite, so we can face them again.
Yeah? You don't mind? Okay, well, thank you very much, Quacknix, and good luck going into the grand finals, which will be played out tomorrow. Let's check in with the bracket to see how everything has played out so far today, as we do have Fnatic taking that top spot in the grand finals. They'll go with a 1-0 lead into that best of 7. In just a few moments' time, we're going to have our Korea versus Korea match, and considering that these are 2 world champion caliber teams, that is going to be fantastic as well. And don't forget, right after that, we have another All-Stars match. And I did reveal yesterday